What's up my mates of YouTube, my name is Aussie Marcel, the most luscious locks on YouTube, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about 3 men's fragrances that have huge projection, specifically cold weather scents. But first things first, my fragrance of the day, and it's also going to be the first fragrance I talk about, Montblanc Emblem Absolute. I've mentioned this a couple of times on the channel, and I've got to say, the more I wear it, the more I love it. The fragrance itself is fruity, sweet, and woody. But don't let the sweetness and the fruitiness deter you, especially if you're a man, because it's an incredibly masculine scent. And the packaging's kind of nice as well. It reminds me of, you know, Paco Rabanne's 1 Million a little bit. Yeah. And here is the atomizer. Just waste a spray. More of a cloud, like a nice fully formed cloud of fragrance. Projection is insane. You can smell this from, you know, halfway across a room. In my experience, at least, it's very powerful. Performance is solid as well. 8 to 12 hours, given your skin chemistry, and it's always good for a compliment as well. I find that nobody's wearing this. I can't tell you if it's discontinued or not, but the DNA itself is quite nice. Montblanc Emblem, non-absolute, just the regular one in the black bottle. I'm pretty sure that smells similar to this. It's like woody, cinnamon, similar to Hugo Boss bottled. But I prefer the, I do prefer the Emblem DNA, just because it stands out a little more from the crowd. Boss bottled, they all smell fantastic and they're all really good for compliments, but in my experience, these just stand out, whereas they don't. They're typical, they're commonplace. These are just better. Next up is a fragrance that I've also talked about a few times before, and it is the definition of a love it or hate it fragrance. But considering we're talking about cold weather scents that project like monsters, you can't not talk about this. Eau Pomme. Eau, Jupe, Youp, doesn't really matter. It's one of the most recognizable scents in the game, and you either love it or you hate it. But one thing that you can't deny is that it is a beast in terms of performance, and it projects like an absolute monster. I'm going to spray this one because I love the way it smells so much. Here's the atomizer. Powerful, similar to Emblem Absolute actually. It's really almost sickly sweet. It's got a medicinal sweetness to it, like cough syrup. It's got some cinnamon, vanilla. It's got some floral notes. It's a little woody. Chances are you've smelt it before, or I suppose you've also probably worn it to death as well in high school. There's just something so nostalgic about this fragrance for me, and I just can't help but love it. I completely understand the hatred for this scent. I really do. I know a lot of you that have commented on my videos before, you also dislike this scent, and I understand that completely, but you can't deny how potent it is. Even if you hate its guts, it projects like an absolute monster. If somebody is wearing this around you in your vicinity, you will know it. You will absolutely know it. This has lasted, you know, multiple washes on my clothes. I'm talking about like 2 weeks plus on one of my favorite button-up shirts, even after washing it multiple times. There is nothing else that I can really think of the top of my head that lasts quite like Eau Pomme. The Eau de Parfum is a safer choice. It still projects quite well, but it is more woody, more masculine, and there's a really nice vanilla note in there as well. Whereas this is sort of, you know, sickly sweet, synthetic. If you're after something new and more appropriate for a modern setting, definitely try the Eau de Parfum version. But if you are just wanting to smell good, and I'll put that in quotations for you, because I know a lot of you dislike it. If you just want to smell good, and you want it to last an entire night, and you want it to project to everyone else in the room that you're in, this is your fragrance. And finally, I'm going to be talking about probably my favorite fragrance of the bunch, and it's one that I've been wearing to death since I got it for Christmas, and that is Versace's Dylan Blue. It smells similar to Dior's Sauvage, except I think it's nicer because it has a subtle smokiness, almost a burnt, toasted, ambery, vanilla-y vibe to it. I still actually have a lot of it left. I thought I was getting close to running it out, but there is no chance that I'm going to be using this anytime soon. Using it all up, that is. Another fragrance that I've gotten so many compliments for. Dylan Blue is one of those scents that everyone that I've come across has really enjoyed the way it smells, and I always get asked what I'm wearing when I'm wearing Dylan Blue. People don't know it like they know like Dior's Sauvage or Yo Pomme or other fragrances like that. Even though it's like a very prominent designer and, you know, a popular brand, people aren't too familiar with Dylan Blue yet, at least where I am from. And for that reason, it does help you stand out, and it also projects like a beast as well. Performance can be up to 12 hours. It really depends on the weather, the conditions, you know, the humidity. Generally, I would say it's in the 8 to 10 hour range, but in cold weather, it will last a little longer. I wore it the other day to work, and I remember putting it on like early in the morning, you know, sometime around like 8:30ish, and I didn't reapply it throughout the day, and about that same time, 12 hours later, around about the 8:30 mark, I could still smell it pretty strongly on my skin. So performance is super solid. I would absolutely recommend it based on the DNA alone, but performs fantastic, it projects fantastic, and it's also a very versatile scent. You can wear this any season, any occasion, and it will be appropriate. If I had to recommend one of these fragrances for a first timer, I would recommend Dylan Blue. Yes, it is $100 AUD, even on special it's around about that price. But you do get a great performing fragrance, a lot of versatility, and it's a universally loved scent. If you're just looking for performance alone and projection alone, Yo Pomme. Not everyone's going to love it. I know not everyone here is going to love it, but it is a beast when it comes to performance and projection. And then there's Emblem Absolute. A great fragrance, one that I'm wearing today. Yeah, try it if you haven't already. Anyways, if you've ever worn any of these before, what are your thoughts on them? What are your feelings on them? Let me know in the comments below. And until the next video, my name is Aussie Marcel, the most luscious locks on YouTube, and I'll catch you guys around.